Alright, hold up. Yeah, that's good. Let me just, I don't even need to adjust it, bro. What's up, y'all? It's the Kid Shadow Weirdo. And, kind of mad right now. I always get mad when I talk about this subject. So I want to talk about the colonizers' version of Christianity versus what we actually should believe in. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm gonna start off straight off the bat just saying this. Black and Latino people are the children of Israel. We are the 12 lost tribes that were condemned to 600 years of bondage and slavery and oppression in another person's land for breaking the covenant that was made with when Moses went on a mountain for 40 years and they came back and they were worshiping not slipping my name, but the golden calf story. We all know that, but everybody likes to skim over the curses that come with that story and what befell those people biblically. And when you look at world history, uh, we are the only people that match that description. But throughout slavery, when they taught us the Bible, which is really a book about us, for us, well, it used to be, they misconstrued it. They left a lot of things out, and they made it to demonize us, God's people, and demonize things that God actually instructed people to do. Um, so I was on Facebook, and I'm just scrolling, and I see this post, right? And it says so for, it's like some lady, it went viral too, but there's a lot of people like me that know the truth in the comments trying to enlighten people. And it says, so for Christmas someone bought me a nice gift. I love the gesture, but I don't burn sage. It's demonic. I'm not going to argue about what my Bible says. um okay, let's go back and read Exodus 25 verse 6, where they talk about burning incense, wood, and oils in the temple, and talking about crystals because crystals vibrate energy. It's science, right? And the thing is, all science exists because God created it so. God is the original scientist. And the Hebrews were the original worshippers of God, aka Yahweh, which is his true name, Yahweh. Um, and the true name of Jesus is Yeshua because the sound of the letter J did not exist in any form of alphabet around the time that these books were written. So they changed the names, just to let you know off the rip. Um, Yahweh is the original scientist, and he instructed his people to study his ways. The people that he created, he instructed them to study his ways. That does not just mean the wisdom of Yahweh. That also means the sciences of how he creates. Because one of the things that he gave humanity was the ability to create. They always say that the thing that he gave us that made us separate from the angels was free will. That's a lie. That's a lie that was put in the Bible, right? Because if we're the only beings with free will, how did Lucifer make the decision to turn against God and gather the other angels to turn against God and create a war in heaven if he doesn't have free will? Everything has free will. Animals have free will. That's a lie right there, first and foremost. The thing that Lucifer and the rest of the angels envied about humanity is that God gave us the power to create the same way that he creates, through speech. And I literally have a whole song about that. It's called SpongeBob, about the sciences of sound and what sound actually does. Because everything is made of sound. We are physically made of sound. That's why in the Bible it says God spoke. Verbal manifestation. And we have the exact same power to manifest. And when we do it with Yahweh's assistance, it is called prayer. And when we sit and listen to our subconscious to hear what he's trying to tell us, that is called meditation. Because conversation is a two-way street. But they demonize meditation in the church. They demonize crystals in the church. They demonize using plants herbally as medicine in the church. But in the Bible it says all the herbs bearing seed are for the healing of the nation. And people always want to wonder why, although I talk about God all the time, I don't associate myself with Christianity. Because really and truly, Christianity shouldn't exist because Yahweh even told his followers that yes, you can follow me, meaning learn everything that I'm teaching you. Don't follow me as in worship me. Only worship the Father, Yahweh. And what happened? People ended up breaking that promise and worshiping Yeshua anyway. And a lot of people use the worship as Yeshua as a guise to commit war crimes and terrible acts throughout history, which is why Christianity has such a bad rap. Because really, truly, it's the opposite of what Yeshua was telling the people to do. And that's the reason why he told them not to worship him, because he saw that coming. Like, that's the thing. A lot of the times where the people were instructed to do things throughout the Bible, it's because the prophets who told them, or even when Yeshua told them, they know what's coming. God gave them that vision of what's coming if certain things happen. And every single time people went against the word of Yahweh, and eventually Yahweh got sick of it. There's a couple of times in the book where Yahweh just gets sick of humanity. That's the whole story of the flood. He got sick of humanity and only saved the people who were worth saving. But at the same time, here we go again when it gets to leading the Israelites out of Egypt. And let's keep it real, Israel and Egypt are brother and sister nations genetically. They split off from the Hebrews. So when you see those black Egyptians, understand that those Hebrews look the exact same way. The original Jews, they look the exact same way. And where did both of those nations end up? In chains. And I try to tell people this all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's whatever. People don't want to listen to me when I talk. But that's why I'm doing this. Just so when things happen, y'all can come back here. Y'all can look. Oh, Shy was talking some real talk. But yeah, like throughout the book, that happens over and over. Just humanity constantly, because just like the angels, we have free will. We have the ability to disobey and to turn against. That is our choice. Just like with the angels. Only thing is, angels cannot create anything. They cannot manifest anything. They can only manipulate things. Which is why demons have to possess people in order to interact with this physical world, because they cannot interact with the physical world in the way that they really want to. That's Let's keep it real. If demons really had as much power as people think they had, they wouldn't need humans to follow and worship them and allow them to possess their bodies. What do they need our bodies for? What special ability do we have that they don't? You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard to figure out. Because just like there are physical sciences, there are spiritual sciences and metaphysical sciences. And the Hebrews were masters of those sciences. And they knew the repercussions of messing with things that shouldn't be messed with. And that's really and truly what witchcraft is. Witchcraft is not burning sage. Witchcraft is not meditation. Witchcraft is not manifestation. Witchcraft is getting in a lab and isolating chemicals. That's what witchcraft is. Creating abominations. The biblical definition of an abomination is something that should not exist according to God. Like corn. Corn is a man-made thing. You know what I'm saying? Mules are man-made things. There's a bunch of different plants that exist right now and animals that exist right now, including dogs, that are man-made and should not exist and technically are abominations to Yahweh. That's what witchcraft is. Messing with the natural order of things. So, when people want to talk about witchcraft and people want to talk about what they don't do for certain reasons because their Bible tells them not to, but haven't even read the book, that's the thing. You have to read. I said this before. You have to read for your own understanding with anything, because people will give you the okey doke. You know what I mean? That's what the colonizers did to us for years and years and years. They gave us the okey doke. They gave us certain books to read that were altered without giving us the books that truly held knowledge, like the book of Enoch, the book of Maccabees. You know what I'm saying? They didn't give us knowledge. They gave us a warped perception of reality that we still have. And anytime I have this conversation with people who go to church, they get mad at me. I'm like, why are you mad? Because if you are so devoted to that Bible that you should be reading by yourself and not having someone read to you, you would know that everything I'm saying is true. Everything I'm saying is true. But being stuck in such a hopeless situation as slavery, it puts the psyche of the entire nation of Israel in a very dark place. And unfortunately, people who dwell in the dark, no matter how much you try to get them to look at the light, the darkness is all they know. So most people are afraid of change. They're not going to look at that light at all. They might glance at it, but they're not going to truly look into the light because they are accustomed to the darkness. People are accustomed to the curses that were placed on us hundreds of years ago. They've grown accustomed to it. And unfortunately, I can't blame people for that. But at the same time, what I can do is do my part in telling people the truth. That's what I know I can do. Like, my thing is, I think I've told y'all before, my grandfather, God rest his soul, on my mother's side, was a Rastafarians. And Rastafarians, they acknowledge the fact that they are the descendants of the children of Israel. So, I was taught a lot at a young age. You know what I'm saying? And then even then, I always loved to read. So, I would read for my own understanding. And as I got older, and I started looking back through the true black history in this country and other countries, because the history that they teach in this country is false as well. See, they tell you that the Native Americans just died out. There's only a couple of them left. No, there are millions of us here. And I say us because on my dad's side, yes, I am a Native American because I have Cherokee in my blood. And most black people, when they say they have Cherokee or they say they have different nations in their blood, they don't understand what they are really saying. They're saying that this is their land. We have been enslaved in our own land, a land that has been taken over by oppressors. And this was prophesized a very, very long time ago. People don't seem to understand that. Once you turn 18, they give you your ID, and I learned this a month after I turned 18. If you don't come with your family records, and a couple of black families still have theirs. Well, I'm not gonna say a couple, a decent amount still have theirs to prove that you are Native American. The minute you check yourself off as black or African American, you give up all your rights to the land you are owed. Because the Pilgrims, they didn't kill the Native Americans. They struck deals, and then they reneged on a lot of those deals, and then they enslaved some of the Native Americans, not all. The poor ones who were enslaved. And the Africans were brought over here. Don't get that wrong. Africans were brought over here. But the majority of people that were enslaved or indentured servants, and there wasn't a lot of indentured servants, mostly slavery. Let me make that perfectly clear. They were already here on this continent. And they look just like you and me. And that's the truth. Like I'm not afraid to tell the truth. That really and truly this is our land. America is our land. And that's what people don't want to hear. People don't want to hear the truth at all, you know. Because one thing is, even if you look at the Native Americans that they'll show you now, they'll show you the mulatto Native Americans, the light-skinned Native Americans. But if you actually go and do your research, you'll find a lot of pictures of dark-skinned Native Americans that might even look like your family members. But That's all I'm gonna touch on that topic. Y'all go research for yourself. I'm not trying to end up on the list nowhere. You feel me? So I'm gonna keep. I'm just plant that seed. Y'all can go do whatever research you want to do, or not research, because I know a lot of y'all are probably just gonna dismiss what I'm saying and click off the video anyway. But yeah. See, I just wanted to go off real quick because just reading that post about people demonizing things that are actually holy if used correctly, it bothers me. Like, it really bothers me. Like, how we were taught to not only hate ourselves and our looks, but our practices, but everything about the things that we were taught to hate is beautiful. Everything that we were taught to hate is of God, because we were made in His image. And when you look in that night sky, what do you see? Darkness. Darkness is not a negative thing at all, because from darkness, all the colors in the spectrum of light are created. Darkness is the soil, baby. Darkness is beautiful. Black is beautiful. And people don't understand that the reason we look like this is because of carbon. But I can get into the science of carbon in a different video, to be honest. But yeah, so get to know, as I said, like, our connection to this planet and our connection to God are one of the same. Um, learn about crystals. Learn about spiritual science. Learn everything you can, because knowledge is something that cannot be taken away. It can only be applied. And applying knowledge is the best thing you can do in any situation that you are in. And that's why knowledge is power. But yeah, that's all I want to say right now. I can't really think of anything else. I came here for a specific task. I feel like I've accomplished that task. So I must bid you all adieu.